Here we have a new 2023 Subaru Outback. This one comes in the Onyx Edition in the beautiful crystal white pearl. And then we have the light gray softex interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder boxer engine, mated to a lineartronic CVT. Coming around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with our LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. Really liking the new look here. It looks very aggressive, kind of like a transformer in my opinion. But especially this Onyx Edition, just love how it's decked out here. So here we get these 18-inch aluminum wheels. We get passive keyless entry on the front doors. Then we have one-touch up and down power windows for all 4 doors. Rear window lock here, power door lock controls here, and then power mirror controls here. So turn it to one side and you can shift the mirrors. And then little pocket here, good sized bottle holder there. That's for our power lift gate. And then that's gonna be to open our hood. And here's our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. But I love the gray, having both of those grays there, how they kind of contrast each other. But before we take a look at the rear legroom, let's just take a quick look at all of our standard features here. And hopefully they come through on the camera. And then here's the optional equipment here. That option package 22, which includes that reverse automatic braking, the nav, and the roof. It's going to be $1845. And then not a bad sticker price, right at $37,762. So looking at the rear legroom, really impressive. I do have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone of my size. Being 6'3", I have longer legs, and knees are just barely touching the back of the seat here, but not uncomfortable because I'm actually able to put my knees in the back. But this whole middle part is actually just kind of cushioned, so not uncomfortable at all. And then we have 2 rear AC vents here, a USB-C fast charge port and a USB-A fast charge port there. Like that we have the seat pockets on both sides. Not a lot of manufacturers are doing that now. Cup holders there. And there's look the middle seat. We do get really nice premium dome lights there. Really like that. And then hanger hooks or grab handles with hanger hooks there. You could probably fit one hanger on there. But making our way around to the back here. Really like that back end as well. Very, very, like I said, Transformer-esque. And there's a look at the cargo space in the back, which there's tons of it. And then of course you can fold the seats flat when the front seats are up far enough, and then you can actually hang stuff here. I like how it clicks. Really nice. And then we have pockets on the sides so you can stow stuff that you don't want rolling around. And then there's one without a net here. So just really like how everything was done in this cargo space. And then the space underneath, we have a jack there. And then almost forgot, there's a 12 volt back here. Well, let's take a look underneath. There's our exhaust. And then fuel filler here. There's a cap for that. And I'm going to show you another way we can fold the seat down. Like most vehicles, you can just push this here, and then, like I said, when the seat's up far enough, this will fold flat and you have all that additional space to run longer objects. And then we do get a manual 4-way passenger seat for the front. Now, like we have a little storage pocket here to put passenger's phone, then we have a lockable glove compartment. Really nice size there. And then another pocket right here. But all in all, pretty impressive. The Outback has been pretty impressive over the past few years, even before this refresh here. But there's that 2.5 liter boxer engine. And now let's go ahead and make our way to the driver's seat. So love the leather wrap steering wheel here. Feels really, really nice. And then coming over here, this new 11.6-inch screen carries over. But I like how everything is still as nice as it was. Very responsive. There's a navigation screen there. And then within that screen, we can, of course, search. And then depending on what you want to do, whether you want to add a home, add work, and this is one of the easier nav screens to use. You just type stuff in. It's not asking you to do this and then do something else and then do it backwards. So I really like that. And then for the audio, we do get AM, FM, and XM radio. And then we have Bluetooth, Bluetooth audio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility as well. Had to get all that out there. So I like this, especially if you're going to be driving off-road. You can pull up your driving stats here, and then you can have your radio frequencies or whatever up here, including the weather, oil temperature, and then for your X mode, you can toggle between snow, dirt, normal, and then deep snow, and then still have your departure angles and all that up as well. So really nice. And then maintenance, of course, it keeps track of that for you. Really like just how intuitive this radio is and how much information it offers. And we can go in here and we can toggle our traction control. We can decide where we want the X mode, whether it's here or up here. And I like how they put it right up there. And then cruise control, acceleration, the automatic brake hold, the steering responsive headlights, auto stop. You can do all of that from here. And then I really like how they put the auto stop shortcut here too. Because a lot of people don't like it. You can just toggle that instead of having to go in a menu here. So even though all of the controls except some of the AC controls are in the screen, it's still very, very easy to use in my opinion. Like having that there so you can add or delete your devices. Really simple. Set up your profile. And then you do get the 3-stage heated seats for the driver, front passenger, and then you can actually open up a whole sub-menu and you can either toggle your temperature here for both sides. You have your defrosters there, and then it's really easy to just control where the airflow is going with the touchscreen here. The touchscreen is actually not cumbersome like a lot of other screens are out here, so I'm glad that even though everything's on the screen is easy to use. There's volume there, and then you have tune. So yeah, really like that. AC, just really easy to do. Now I wish that they would allow you to turn the auto mode off by hitting the button instead of having to adjust the fan speed, but you can cut the whole system off here, and then you have the quick shortcut for the AC as well, so that's nice. There's our backup camera there, guidelines that follow you as you turn the steering wheel. Hazards here. And then we do have, I like how they did the wireless charging pad. You've got it deep in there. Now, it's very skinny, so hopefully you'll be able to fit your phone through there and it's not too wide in that sense, but really like how they just stowed it underneath there. Then you have an aux input, USB-C-A, USB-A charge port as well. And then electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. Then for the shifter, just hold the lever here, reverse, neutral drive, come over here, and you can kind of manually shift from the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. And the cup holders are here. Center console, that's a top tray there. It's kind of hidden. I like that. And then you have your big one with a 12 volt in there. Decent size, especially for a station wagon. And then we do have a one-touch sliding power sunroof here. We can hit it twice to send it all the way back, and then we can one-touch shut it, and we can also tilt it up too if we want to. And sunglasses holder here. Here are the controls for that. Universal garage door transmitter here. There's a view of the back seat from up here. And then getting to the steering wheel, we have our Bluetooth controls here. We can go through our track list or radio station favorite presets here. We can use the source button and go through whatever radio or band we're in, so we can go between AM, FM, XM, and then if we have the CarPlay or Bluetooth set up, we can do that too. Voice recognition control here, volume control here, and then to the right side of the steering wheel, we have all of our Subaru safety features here, so we can toggle our cruise control. This is the lane center, you can turn that on and off, and then we can adjust the gap for the adaptive cruise using these buttons here, and then set it and turn the speed up there. Headlamp controls, fog light controls, blinkers, set that auto mode on, and then You can toggle your high beams there. And then in regular mode, you can cut them on just by pulling it back, and then you can flash them there. And then over here, we have our windshield wiper controls. So one time there, and then low, or intermittent low, high, excuse me. And then we can adjust the intermittent here. And then we have a rear wiper here. And then you can pull that there for the rear wiper fluid, and push up here for the front wiper fluid. Quick look at that gauge cluster there. Then we have our push button start. And then finally, here's our key fob. But next we're gonna go ahead and take this new Subaru Outback Onyx Edition out on the road for a quick test drive. So this Outback drives pretty nicely, actually. Even with the CVT, you do have those kind of 8 gear shifts that you can simulate. And the ride quality is decent. It's very easy to drive this. One thing I like about the Outbacks in particular is it's one of the last true station wagons. Even though they want to call it an SUV, you have that station wagon feel that most Subaru customers love, having the utility of an SUV, but something that drives like an Impreza or something like that. Just really nice to have that utility with this Outback. And the 2.5 liter boxer engine actually has quite a bit of low end power. And the CVT makes sure that it's putting out what you ask it for almost instantaneously, as opposed to having to wait for an actual shift. But I'm gonna put it in this manual mode now and see how it does. So not bad at all. Now, of course, with this being all-wheel drive too, it doesn't have the same feel of acceleration, even though the acceleration is pretty average for vehicles in the segment, specifically with 2.5 liter 4 cylinders. But it does feel it's really fun to use, actually. So I'm putting my foot down all the way. And again, with the all-wheel drive, you don't have that same acceleration feeling, but according to the speedometer, it got up relatively quickly. But these are also meant to be cars that you can take off-road as well. I mean, you have like 8.6, 8.7 inches of ground clearance. And I mean, you just really, these are meant to be fun cars. They're not meant to be driven hard, meant to race anybody with, but for what they're designed to do, they're fantastic. And you're getting 26 miles per gallon city, 32 miles per gallon highway with an all-wheel drive vehicle, so can't complain about that. Now, I'll say this again, the paddles are really fun. Just because you have those kind of instant shift points, it feels like you're actually driving a select shift automatic transmission. And I almost forgot to mention, blind spot monitors are right there if you can see them. Because they're so hidden, they do such a great job with that. It's nice and bright, and having it on the actual mirror itself is probably the best place to put one, because that's where you'd look to see what's in your side mirrors. So to have the sensor, or I should say the monitor, nice and bright right there was just a really, really good design move in my opinion. But I also like that with the CVT, you really do control the revs. I can just throw it down whenever. If I want to downshift here, it'll let me. If I want to upshift here, it'll let me for the most part. And like I said, it doesn't feel as quick because it's all-wheel drive, but it really lays the power down. So I'm gonna put it back into the standard drive mode now, and then I'm gonna test out the adaptive cruise and all that next. one of the benefits of a CVT is you don't really feel a shift. You don't feel, I mean, it just feels nice and clean. It feels almost like there is no transmission, and that's kind of what the CVTs are meant to do, but it's just a really, really nice feel with this Outback here, not having to worry about shift points or the transmission shifting the gear out of nowhere. So lane centering's on now. Adaptive cruise is on. Not touching the vehicle at all. Really good system, and I've said this about older Subarus in the past. Just love how easy it is to use. And I also love the lights there. You can see it's giving me that kind of distance indicator right there. And then if I'm not touching the steering wheel as often as it would like to, it'll flash at me, and I have 2 yellow lights on the side. But really good ride quality down the interstate. It's hard to really test it on different terrain, but for the most part, very smooth, even with the kind of ground clearance that this car has. And there's auto stop, and I have the automatic brake hold on as well. So final thoughts on the Outback. Really nice car. You really just had a slight refresh, but it still drives just as good as the outgoing model. And really just still loving the tech features, the safety features. Everything just is still running as smoothly as can be expected. And just having the easy drivetrain here, having the 2.5 liter boxer engine, the CVT, and just how everything is laid out. And then also having Subaru's Star safety system. I mean, for 38 grand, definitely a really, really good choice here. And if you're in the market for an Outback, you're probably just in the market for an Outback. I can't think of anything else out now that hits price, amenities, having the all-wheel drive standard system. So, still a really good option if you're wanting a station wagon feel for this price point and to be able to go off-road with it when you need to. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Subaru Outback Onyx Edition.